We're live. All right. Yay. So my name is Mohney. I'm the editor and owner of the Huckleberry Press. And you all are joining us at Theta Studios on Trent in Spokane, which is a awesome space for all kinds of group events to happen and art. And we just completed, well, we're in the middle of really the Spokane Small Business and Entrepreneurs Group networking meeting, which happens every Friday at 3 p.m. at Theta Studios. So that's where our audience is from. And that's where our interviewees are from. And if you want to find out more about the Spokane Small Business and Entrepreneurs Group, go to #SpokaneBizClub. So here we are. And I'm excited because today we're talking to a local business person and we're talking to a local artist. So here we are on the court. It's now called Lilac City Lounge. And we're here with Nicholas Allard.
Thank you.
How do you say your last name?
Allard.
Allard, great.
Yep, you had it right.
And what's the name of your business?
Theta State Studios.
Right on. And what I love about this networking group that we're all a part of is the collaboration. I live for collaborative projects. And Nicholas has been a huge collaborator, helping me take my boring, unseen video from just that, boring and unseen, to to actually effective. This last week, he taught me how to put subtitles in my videos, so everything's going better. Nicholas is a high-level collaborator, and I appreciate everything you contribute to this entire community, and certainly to me.
Stop it.
Tell us the name of your business.
It is Theta State Studios, and the reason that is called Theta State is because Theta State is actually, it's a brainwave frequency. It simulates REM sleep, essentially, where you experience the most vivid dreams. And for me, being a videographer on the journey to becoming a filmmaker, I've always associated the effect of dreams to be that of filmmaking and great storytelling, because you can get sucked in. You forget where you are. You get to be in a room either by yourself or full of people, and you get to literally be in the shoes of characters you never would have known and weep for them. 2 hours prior, you didn't even know who they were. And so the state of dreaming, that's what I wanted to do with my work. I wanted to be able to have that, because I consider myself a videographer on the journey to becoming a filmmaker. So instead of becoming a starving artist and graduating college and going into the industry and making it work, I figured I'll go home and sleep for a month and then try to figure out my way there. And so after I got done in 2016 from graduating, 2017, I started my business, worked a day job, funny enough, at a movie theater, and did that till 2019. And that's when I decided I was going to take things seriously, because I had the college mindset. I got a bachelor's. I should be worth this. I've put this much time, this much effort, this much money towards this degree. You have to, every artist who graduates has to kind of come to terms with the fact that you are worth nothing. You are worth nothing but your portfolio. And that's even I was lucky to have, still to this day, I'm extremely fortunate to be surrounded by people that have never told me you're never going to make it. Don't go into filmmaking. Don't do it. It's always been healthy injections of realistic advice. So like, have a backup plan, as my parents would say. But for my brothers, my family, my friends, there was never a, do you really want to go into that? Like, maybe you should be an engineer. You should be something else. So I'm very fortunate. When it came to backup plans, I tried to think about it, and through a lot of research and hours of figuring things out, I've determined that primary plan was going to be film and backup plan was going to be film. And so that was the choice, and I've been pursuing it ever since.
Right on. What do you find most fulfilling about being a videographer on the way to being a filmographer?
Impact. I get to impact people, whether in this case it is businesses, because video is now more needed than ever. It's one of the leading ways to build a business, to get yourself out there. People want to know, what do you sound like? What do you look like? What do you do? people will connect with you far more in video than they will anything else. There was even a study Google was associated that found out that up to 50% of people, if it's related to a product or service, they will look at video relating to that before they'll even go visit a store. Wistia put out a survey that 95% of viewers will retain a message more than just 10% that read it in text. So it's a very, very effective means of helping businesses grow, but it's also very effective in storytelling. And that's what got me into it. And so it is ultimately like filmmaking, like being an artist. It's about trying to deliver some kind of impact. It's the same reason why I like to watch reactions of people watching movie trailers or things like that. I want to see how it affects them on a subconscious level or a physical level. The gasps, the cries. It's because it affected them in that way. And I would love to have that effect on those that I work with, have some kind of positive outlook and positive growth, and for business wise, help them grow, and for filmmaking wise, be able to affect people in a positive way or make them look at life a little bit differently, or maybe be able to put themselves in shoes that in lives that they would never have otherwise been. And it can be anything from, the fantastical. There's the Marvel films, there's Star Wars, which I got into by the way, and also Lord of the Rings. It's, though it's fantastical, you go to films, you walk away learning more about yourself. You do. You are able to find out from characters that make decisions. You ask yourself, even a little bit, like, would I make those decisions? Or you find out when you're in that kind of struggle, when you're kind of at this crossroad, when you see the character go through that, and in life, whether it's not that big, you find yourself at a crossroad, you go, oh, that's what that felt like. So it may be a little artsy fartsy, but it is, you do get to watch that, and you do get to reflect that, and you do learn. We learn as a people coming out of movies because we get to watch other people and stories about humanity. And if I can capture that in a business setting, I will absolutely do that.
I love your passion.
Thank you.
Yes.
What's a tip that you would give to a business that's trying to get into video or further their video game? Like, you've given me a lot of advice as a newspaper that's going multimedia. Everyone wants to leverage video these days. What would you give as advice to people like that?
Start small. We are at a point now, technologically speaking, where things are more affordable, still expensive for the general person starting a business or artist in this case. But technology is so much more affordable. It is so much more accessible. I mean, you can go and make films now with your phone. I don't like vertical video, but trying to stand in the way of vertical video as it's coming in, I think is the same comparison of trying to block away from hitting the beach with your body. You just can't do it. You got to adapt. And that's the thing about any artist and trying to involve video is you can start small. Start working and figure out what, you can go on social media, you can look at trends. There's so many different templates you can use just to get started, to get yourself out there. Best thing I could say at this point is if you can get yourself a phone stand, even with a ring light, you don't have to go too fancy with lighting. Thing that I would say is get a phone stand, someone with a little bit of a light, and then get yourself a mic, even if it's cheap. People will forgive weird angles. They'll forgive odd lighting. They will never forgive bad sound. So go to any movie, go to anything, and you will find that out very, very quickly. So that's why when they're arguing, like, oh, what's more important, visuals or sound? I would probably say sound, funny enough, even though we all love the visuals because the visuals are so good. But do that and then talk. Talk about yourself. It doesn't even have to be all about your business. Funny enough, there's some things that I've been recommending to people is an about me video, which I'm also creating myself. I've been doing it for others, and it doesn't have to be so much about your business. It's actually like 8% about you, maybe 20 or 10% your business, because if you put that on your about page, kind of goes back to people, if they're ever prospects looking on your website, who is Val? Like, who is this guy? Well, oh, he runs Huckleberry Press. What is his values? What does he do? What does he sound like? Oh, okay, he's interesting. Maybe I'll call him. Because sometimes I was listening to a podcast where video marketers, one of the things that they found that the last page that people were on before they made the call was the about page. And so that was the thing that kind of sealed the deal. Yes, they got to see the services. Yes, they got to see the cool visuals, but they want to see the personality behind the company. And that's what they're able to connect with. And video can help do that.
Before we cut to our live studio audience for questions, give us an example of your favorite client.
Favorite client, I'm definitely moving more towards retainer basis. So I can be helping them and grow every single month. It's fruitful for them, it's fruitful for me. I can then have a predictable cash flow to be able to bring on a team. Like what you're talking about in collaboration, I don't see this as a career where I want to be on my own. I want to have people that I can thrive with. I want to thrive and I want people to thrive with me. And so I get to do that on this incredible journey that I've embarked on. And so having that, being able to work with a client that they see the power of video and filmmaking and storytelling, and they want to be able to do that, whether that's through testimonials of helping their clients. Maybe the owners themselves have an incredible backstory and they want to present that. Being able to work with a client on a monthly basis to help them grow because they get more marketable materials to use every single month. And then I also get to grow and be able to have a better safety net to bring on a team.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
It's so exciting.
Absolutely.
We have time for a question or two from our studio audience. And when you say your question, I'm going to repeat it for the microphone, which, by the way, these are cheap microphones, but they've been doing really well. So yes to sound. What's your favorite project you've ever done?
Actually, it might be a project that I'm working on. I'm waiting on the final edits of a project. I don't know if I can talk about it, but it was, we got to do multiple interviews, and it was, funny enough, it is an about me type story about a company. And so we were able to listen to the one running the business and then his associates. And he's a charismatic person. So he was fun to capture on camera. The place that we were able to interview was easily, in my opinion, the best location lighting wise. It's our best looking interview ever. I gush at it every single time I watch this. Like, oh, this looks so good. And just a lot of things came together, and I've changed up the way that I edit my content. So that way it's more on a TV commercial editing style, because that's what we have to do now in the age of where we are. We have to try to keep engagement. You want to have changing the visuals. You have to change up your sound. You got to change up the music. You got to be able to figure out the pacing and the tempo and all that. And everything has come out really, really, really well. So kind of a bit about some storytelling, a bit of focusing on the business and what they do. But that was a lot of fun. A couple different locations that we filmed that too. So I guess in a nutshell, being able to talk a little bit about their story, get to work with personalities that are fun on camera, and I get to, emphasize that more in post, and be able to supply some visuals that can help prop up what they're talking about and create more impact.
One more. Well, yeah. Yay. One more question. Tyler, thank you. What kind of micro content videos would be best for businesses in the modern age, right?
So I guess first off, micro content, anything that's usually referring to social media. So anything that's under 90 seconds, and that's, again, going back to a vertical video, horizontal being like movies, vertical being phone. For micro content, there's a ton of stuff. For businesses, I would go back to the About Me video. If you have a bunch of different answers that you can use, take a clip of any of those and have that be something you can post on social media. So suddenly, instead of all being all one video that's like 5 minutes, maybe you can get some answers there. Maybe if you have answers that last 45 seconds, now you have several videos. There's a lot of it that's about volume. You want to have some polish in your videos if you can, but volume is what matters most. And so the type of content, whether that's your story, how you created the business, your services, something that you can go and talk about and mention the value of what you're bringing. And then always, 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 always include a call to action. Always include a call to action. You don't ask, you will not receive. Almost ever.
Oh, yeah.
Call to action.
Yes.
Noted. So say your name again clearly and say your website really clearly, so how people can get a hold of you.
Sure. My name is Nicholas Allard, and I am the owner of Theta State Studios. And if they Google Theta State Studios, you can find us on our websites. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we're on TikTok, on YouTube, which I'm excited to get more into. So basically all the social media outlets, but yeah, Theta State Studios, you'll find us.
And Theta as in Theta.
Correct.
Another thing I like about you is that you like everybody's posts across all the platforms.
I try.
Yeah, it makes a difference. Thank you so much, Nicholas.
I appreciate that.
Hey. Be sure to follow Nicholas at Theta State Studios and share this video so that more people can find Nicholas.
And make sure to follow the Huckleberry Press so that way you can find out all these other stories that they're about to be doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does